All right, first of all, welcome everyone. It's always nice, especially seeing all the kids in the audience. For those, yep, how you doing? Appreciate you guys being here. For those of you that don't know why you're here or who these people are, these are the people that were voted by this community to govern your school district. So if you ever get a chance, you need to thank them for the efforts and the time they put in. I do have a couple adjustments to the agenda. Under curriculum adoption update, please scratch Miss Long and insert Tammy Beard and Lauren Shaw. They'll be our presenters today. Under the agenda and action items, we're going to move item number 6 in between items 3 and 4. So 6 will become the new 4 and everything else will shift down. Those are the only adjustments that I have, Chair.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on to the student reports. I believe we have Audrey Odell.
Hi, you guys probably know me from last board report. You know about the spaghetti auction stuff. There was a live auction, silent auction, and pretty sure we made a lot of money, and it was really fun to go to. And all the money we made will go to a new Gaga Ball pit, and if you're wondering what Gaga Ball is, I will explain at the end of this board report, because it is a fun game Mr. Dyer added to do in PE. Celebration of Literacy Week, February 26th through 29th. Our dress-up days are Monday, Yikes Stripes, and it's themed like the magic of books and stuff like that. Tuesday, favorite color day. Wednesday, socks, like crazy socks. And then Thursday, white, Yikes Stripes. Thursday, red and white day. Our theme is Find Magic in Books. We will have daily dress-up days, Dr. Seuss trivia, guest readers, and more. This will be a fun week of celebrating reading. And Thursday we will have our readathon, which is probably one of my favorite events of the celebration of Literacy Week. We will have a garden work day in the Paw Patch this Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. This is a great way to help come and support our school garden. Through grant funding, we are able to send 4 teachers to Salem to attend the Sources of Strength workshop this week. This training will help strengthen our staff knowledge about the curriculum and encourage ways for our students to look down at their own strengths when facing a challenge. Sports update. We had a successful glide rec basketball season, from little bitty basketball for our kindergartners to second graders friends, 3rd through 6th graders playing at the Boys and Girls Club each Saturday. Our 2nd and 3rd grader girls team went undefeated season, getting first place at the end of the tournament. We had one of our 6th grade girls teams earned 4th place in the same tournament. We had 3 6th graders participate in the middle school wrestling team. All 3 of them placed in district tournament this past Tuesday. And Gaga Ball pit, so imagine like a big circle using your desks, except for it's like a circle. And you hold onto a ball and you throw up a ball and it'll go Gaga Ball. And then at the end, your goal is to slap the ball and try to get other people out. So like if they hit it or they use the wall to help them, you're out. And you do it till the last man standing, basically, like almost like dodgeball, except for Miss Smaller. Thank you.
Cool, thank you. A lot.
From the auction, $40,000. That is a partnership between they were actually not meeting us. I know it was.
That's awesome. Very cool.
And Audrey, is it true that the board is invited to come play Gaga Ga?
Gaga Ball.
And the head will be here March 11th.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. And our from our high school. Who do we have? It's not listed on here.
Good evening, Mr. Freeman and board members. My name is Hannah Groth, and I'm pleased to report on the fun and exciting events at Glide Middle and High School this past and coming month. To start off with, Amberly Snyder, professional barrel racer and motivational speaker, met with a group of OSET and FFA members for dinner on January 21st, then gave a moving message to our entire student body about following your passion despite with the obstacles that you come up against. Our entire gym was silent as she spoke, showcasing that despite being in a wheelchair, she continues to rodeo and provide inspiration to tens of thousands of people every year. She's a motivational speaker that's taught at National FFA Convention and many other, huge events. So it was an honor that she was able to come and speak with us and spend time to, take time to spend one of us kids. There are many dual credit and college opportunities at our high school. We have lots of opportunities for electives, dual credit classes, and expanded option students with both community and universities here in Oregon. I'm currently in college literature and chemistry, setting me up with two great teachers on campus, Mr. Cornelius and Mr. Shaw, teaching at college level standards. Lots of my peers are also taking classes for college credit, as well as direct instructions in the trades. Ben A. and Will C. are currently both in Automotive Friday Academy at UCC. Other options students have to choose from at UCC on Friday are theater, certified nursing assistant, forestry, computer science, mechatronics, and emergency medical services. This fall, we had 14 students earn 62 credits, and we will have about the same this winter and in the spring. 21 middle and high school students are headed to our capital in Salem for the honorary page program on February 27th. Each student will serve as an honorary page on the House floor with an opportunity to meet with our representative, Mr. Virgil Osborne. We are looking forward to seeing our government and representatives at work. Our FFA chapter just recently competed at the Umpqua FFA District Leadership event in Sutherland on February 13th. We are proud to share our parliamentary team come home with the third place advanced team banner and a lot of accolades for their growth and professionalism. As someone who has done Parley Pro before, it's so helpful because you have to think on your feet very fast. And sometimes problems arise, but you just have to go with it. And it's very, very useful for problem solving, and it gets you out of your comfort zone very quick. We would like, a huge thank you to Mr. Monrich and Mrs. Bean for your help and your leadership during the LDEs. Mr. Monrich spent so much time with us, just taking the time, teaching us, and he's just the biggest help. Our middle school and high school teams have done so well this winter with a lot of growth from all players. Both middle school and high school basketball finished third in their league. Our middle school wrestlers just finished fourth as a team with 2 fourths, 2 thirds, 2 seconds, and 3 firsts. Although it is not state sanctioned, several of our athletes will continue on to regionals and state. Our high school boys basketball finished 9th in the Far West League, and high school girls finished 6th. We had an awesome send-off for both our girls' playoff game last Thursday, along with 20+ students attending the game via the Rooter bus. We also today, during this afternoon, we just sent our 5 high school state qualifiers off to state in grand fashion as well. Please watch the Booster Club site for updates throughout the weekend. Coming up, the freshmen will be hosting our volleyball game on February 18th in the main gym, and our JHS spring dance on March 1st in the Ox Gym. We are inviting the community to attend our volleyball game, so please come at 6 p.m. to cheer on our Glide High School boys to volleyball fame, since they will be coaching. Next week, our NHS students will be going down to the elementary school to speak and to read books to the elementary school students, and I love doing that, and I'm glad we're doing it again. Lastly, we just started our entire high school class into the Ron Clark Academy houses this past Thursday. We have awesome house youth and adult leaders that have made this an awesome opportunity. And it's, Thursday was a lot of fun with music, just a lot of cheering. It was really cool to see like everyone be together. Some of the leaders of these houses, which are Colt S., Riker E., Cindy S., Alyssa S., Douglas S., Darian D., Aubrey G., and Jaden Williams. And they've just been awesome with, their enthusiasm and, bringing the school spirit to the school. And, just stay tuned for all the awesome, things that we have planned. To finish off my report, each of you have a copy of our daily bulletin, which we post on the website for the parents in the community to access every day. Please take a look to see upcoming events for our middle school and high school. Thank you so much for your time and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Okay, our next presenters are going to talk us about the process that they're going through to go through to where we adopt curriculum. And so I've asked both buildings to speak as to the process and how it's going. And what I want to say here is our school, they put in extra time. These are things that we ask our teachers to do to support our academic instruction to our students. And I just want to give a super shout out thanks to all their effort and going through that process to ensure our best instruction to our students. So I think, Tammy, would you start with the elementary, and then we'll have Mr. Shaw finish up with the middle school, high school.
I first want to thank Mrs. Long for getting a presentation ready that she's not doing, and I'm doing it. So I will say that our process started last year. So years right now, it's late in the evening. Anyways, last school year, we were supposed to adopt math for this coming school year, but we had just adopted our language arts. And we went and we looked, and there were great samples. And there were a few that we were happy with, and we were still really happy with the one that we had, with us knowing that we were still really just learning our new language arts curriculum. And we didn't want to add our new language arts curriculum last year and a brand new math this year. So we wanted to give our staff some space. That was our the decision as our team last year. So part of what happens is we go to a caravan and there are just vendors galore and textbooks everywhere. And we were just like, we're good with where we are. And so this year we got another team together and started talking about, hey, what did we like last year? What were some of those curriculums that stood out? And so we asked for those developers to send samples to us, so we get tons and tons of boxes. I brought 2 grade levels worth of math, so I brought a 2nd grade sample and a 4th grade sample, just so you could look at that. And so teachers spent time after school looking, first talking in a team, going through those curriculums together, then taking that curriculum back to their teammates and saying, hey, what do you think about this one, or what about this? And it takes a lot of extra time on their part, so I think, and just what Mr. Freeman said. But really, at the end of the day, no matter what curriculum we adopt, which this one is state standards, we went with into math because it is the continuation of the math curriculum that we have this year, or that we've had for the past 7 years. Same thing that we did with our reading. But at the end of the day, really, it's our teachers that bring the heart and the soul to the curriculum, and this is just a guide. So our teachers, with all of the knowledge that they have, supplement that and make it a rich and engaging for our students. So we're going to go with into math, and we're pretty excited about it. One really great benefit is just like our into reading, it feeds into that IXL program that we have. So we really like being able to have that online component that's able to enrich our students and also fill some gaps for kids that got some holes. So it's a dual purpose there. So I left those there if you guys want to take a look. So any questions? All right.
Awesome, thank you.
I just want to say thank you both for your thoughtfulness in this process. Ms. Beard kind of alluded to, I think it's important you hear from me as your new superintendent, that our curriculum is a tool for our teachers to use to meet state standards. Our goal is that our students learn the standards at their grade level, and the curriculum is just a tool for that. Where the art of teaching that both of them alluded to is how you align those tools to meet those standards. And we also give our teachers the freedom that where there's no one curriculum that can meet all the standards. Where the curriculum is low or weak, we give our teachers the freedom to supplement that area, so we ensure that we hit our standards the best that we can. I just think it's important you heard that from me.
Yeah, thank you. That was good info too.
All right, I think we're on to the exciting part, the SB Awards.
All right, and I am going to read these like we did last time, and for those of you that weren't here, what we have done is that we have asked, we have a little paragraph that we've been provided with. I will apologize ahead of time if I get any names wrong or say it incorrectly. Please shout out and tell me how to do it right. So the first award is actually for the 12th grade, and that is for Brock Barron Piera. And Brock is not here tonight because he took first in district and is actually on his way to state in wrestling. And so I will say this, Brock is one of the most considerate students to come through Glide High School. He is always polite to adults and always respected and well-liked by his peers. His interactions with everyone he comes into contact with truly make the world a better place. He is a 3-sport athlete that gives his all under every circumstances. Thank you, Brock, and congratulations on receiving an SB. So we'll clap for him tonight and wish him all the best at state. All right, for 11th grade, is it Jacinda? Okay, Jacinda Pruis? Perfect. Come on up. Jacinda is one of the most engaged, intrinsically motivated, and courageous learners in our district, often taking top accolades for both classroom and artistic projects. When you top this off with kindness so contagious, she makes everyone around her instantly happier. Additionally, she is really funny and will crack a joke that makes your stomach hurt from laughter for days. Jacinda is a shining star that will forever bring joy to all those around her. Congratulations, Jacinda. I won't put you on the spot and ask for a joke. Do you have one? All right, we won't do that. All right, for 10th grade, Douglas Shepard. Doug, one of the kindest leaders on the high school campus. As a house leader for Amistad, he has brought forever dozens of great ideas for increasing student spirit, togetherness, and fun around campus. Doug is an exceptionally hard worker, team player, and agent for bringing out the good in all. He is truly a kind human with an amazing future ahead. Congratulations, Douglas. Lewis, is it Reinhardt? Reinhardt? Perfect, thank you. And this is 9th grade. Lewis is a kind and studious young man that is always willing to help out a friend or a stranger. He is a 4-sport athlete that spreads positively both in the classroom and on the field. His maturity is beyond his years, and he is one of the most dependable and reliable students on campus. Lewis is a true role model for his peers and always leads by example. Congratulations, Lewis. And then moving on to middle school for 8th grade, Cambria Dudley. All right. So I'll read. Cambria is a kind, hardworking student who embodies the qualities of compassion, diligence, and dedication. She demonstrates a genuine concern for others, readily offers support and assistance to both her peers and teachers alike. Cambria's hardworking nature is evidenced through her effort and perseverance in tackling challenges and achieving multiple goals. She approaches her studies with enthusiasm while maintaining a positive attitude, even in the face of adversity. Congratulations, Cambria. And then for 7th grade, Joseph Kircher. Joseph brings a positive attitude and energy to class every day, which is contagious to all students and staff around him. He has a love of academics and aquatics that may someday make him our leading marine biologist on the West Coast. Joe consistently performs quality work in the classroom, is kind to all, and gives 100% in everything he does. We look forward to his leadership on campus in the next 5 years. Congratulations, Joseph. All right, and then for 6th grade, Olivia Schultz. Olivia is an exceptional student, intelligent, efficient, and very creative. Through quiet in nature, her positive influence is felt by all. Olivia is a great addition to the 6th grade class. Congratulations, Olivia. And then for 5th grade, Gavin Hickey. All right, Gavin is friendly to all and always happy to help someone else, whether it's a classroom task or offering math to help to a peer. He is especially interested in science and social studies and offers insights during class discussions. Gavin is consistently on task and attentive, which results in academic success. Congratulations. And Larkin Corba. Larkin is always willing to go above and beyond in class. She is an engaged learner, a kind friend to everyone, and a positive role model for her peers. Congratulations, Larkin. And then for 3rd grade, Alexander Van Bastelar. Close? Alex comes to school every day with the determination to treat others in a kind and positive way. He is dependable, completes his work, and is a great learning partner. Alex inspires his classmates as he always tries his best and sets an example of what a student of integrity looks like. Congratulations, Alex. Raylyn, oh, that's the 2nd grade, Raylyn Cook. Coke. She's sick, okay. I'll read Raylyn's. Raylyn comes every day with a positive attitude, a bright smile, and a motivation to learn as much as she can. She is an exceptional artist and has grown into quite the confident, bright mathematician. I appreciate her sharing her kind heart, contagious laughter, and being a prime example and leader of what a hard worker looks like. I am proud of you, Raylyn. Keep being your best magic maker. I love that. All right, and then we have a special, both Ward and mea culpa and our apologies. Wyatt Atkins. Wyatt, could you come up? So Wyatt was here last school board meeting and we missed him. And so our deep apologies, Wyatt, and we want to make actual special, maybe you can make 2 laps around. But we really want to thank you and apologies. So Wyatt's behavior has improved greatly since the beginning of the year. He's able to focus and show off his ROAR, R-O-A-R, behavior during transitions. Wyatt works hard at home too. He's always has homework turned in and on time. I appreciate Wyatt's hard work ethic he has shown this year. Go Wyatt. And for first grade, Riley Pinch. Riley is kind to all, works hard, faithfully returns homework, and strives to do her best. She is a joy to have in class. Congratulations, Riley. And then for kindergarten, we have another Riley, Cardwell. Okay, Riley is a leader in the classroom and is always willing to be a helping hand to other students in our class. Her kindness and gentleness shines through her interactions with others, and she works hard and perseveres to achieve her academic learning goals. Congratulations, Riley. I have to say, Riley, I love the shoes.
Folks, thank you so much all for coming. I have to say this is always my favorite part of the meeting. This is why we do this. But I think we're going to take a little break right now. So folks that are here with kids want to leave, or you're more welcome to stay, whatever you want to do, but we're going to take a little break. All right, let's mosey on back to our chairs and we'll get this crack-a-lackin'. Do they need to go first? Sure. Where's our,
We'll move her between three.
okay, we're gonna move on. Ooh. Yeah.
Talk like that.
Feel like I'm underwater or something. Like orange whale. Okay, we're going to move on to the budget committee interviews. Interview. Singular. So come on up, because you know who you are. And this isn't going to be as painful as maybe you were anticipating. You're welcome. So just go ahead and make sure your mic's on. Tell us who you are and why you want to be on the budget committee.
My name is Chad Furlong, and I've just been looking for something to, I got kids in the school district, and I just kind of want to do something a little extra, get more involved.
Yes.
And I heard about the budget committee, and I'm like, you know, that's a good way to get your kind of foot in the door. It's probably not that hard, and yeah. Okay.
Okay, do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so.
You want to do it 2 years or 3 years?
2 years is fine.
All right, you're hired.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Thank you, welcome
All
aboard.
right. Thank you.
Yeah, we've got 2 spaces open, so, you know, tell your friends.
Okay.
Huh? Oh, right, well, so that was my opinion that you're hired. All those in favor? Do you make a, I'll entertain an emotion. Thank you, and thank you. All in favor? Aye. Great, motion passes. Chad, welcome aboard. I might have got a little ahead of myself. Oh, right, did anybody want a discussion about that? I didn't think so. Okay, moving on. Sorry, we're just trying to be efficient and not have this drag out all night because, you know, who wants to do that? Okay, so I believe we're moving on to the consent agenda. So I would just like to say on behalf of the board that we try to stay in good relationship with the community. We are there for you. We hear you. We have taken your complaints about things and put it through the appropriate channels. So all of that being said, those things are taken under consideration. And so we just want you to know that those, your concerns and comments and don't fall on deaf ears. And that we just are asking that you have faith in the board. So, I appreciate your time for coming to these meetings. So, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor, do you want to have a discussion? Yes, it is a big deal. Thank you for talking about that. And yes, thank you, Anonymous. We like money. Absolutely, please do.
Thank you, Director Metz, for seeing that and addressing that. I too want to say thank you, and I hope the anonymous donor is listening or sees the record. There were some stipulations or ideas that the donor had kind of earmarked for the money, and I just want to go on record saying that that $5,000 will directly impact our students in our school system.
Dan, is your mic on?
On. I think the things that were listed, it was $1,000 to science trips, neat, $1,000 to OSET, awesome, and $3,000 to the Washington Leadership Trip. So that's outstanding. That'll help our students a lot.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I
I'd
did
like
see that
to-
earlier and got a little overwhelmed with all the other stuff, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry.
Towards your comment regarding the board, which I support, I want to also recognize Superintendent Freeman for doing due diligence and hard work in putting together his recommendations.
Agreed. Here, here.
If I can add to that, I also want to recognize and say thank you for dividing the vice principal and the athletic director into two separate positions. I think that's something that I have heard a lot of support in the community for, and thank you for making that happen.
Agreed. Here, here. Okay, any more discussion points or things folks want to bring up? Comments, suggestions, questions?
Call for the motion.
All right, so we've had a,
Move the vote.
let's do a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, board. Appreciate you all. All right. And so where are we? Number 3, the ESD. Oh, public participation. I don't know why I always look. I know. Folks, I don't think we have any. Nobody submitted a yellow card. Have we? I feel like we've reached nirvana.
I can go fill one out.
Bring back that, what's her name? She can tell us a joke. Okay, so we're going to move on to number 3, which is the Douglas ESD Local Service Plan Resolution. And I believe we have Annalicia Nicholson. Hi. Yeah, right?
Yes.
Okay. So sorry. Is your mic on?
It's green.
Okay, you're good to roll.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Annalicia Nicholson. I'm the superintendent at Douglas ESD, and for those of you who don't know, I'm a product of the Glide School System, and very, very proud alumni of this district. So it's good to be here and be with you all. The local service plan is in front of you, and I see new faces from previous boards, so I might take a step back and just explain the purpose of the plan. So the legislature appropriates monies to ESDs to provide services to local school districts and the students in those school districts to provide services around, let me start again. So kids get equitable services. Annually, our superintendents of the 13 schools review the plan and review student needs and make sure that our plan is still meeting those needs. And our board approves it in January, and then it goes out to all of the school districts in February, this month. It's kind of a magical thing that 13 school districts come together and create a plan on behalf of 13,000 students total we have across the county. So this goes beyond just the Glide student body. For those of you, it does look a little different. This year, we changed the design and made it a little thinner. The first 2 pages, pages 1 and 2, are the local service plan, and so 90% of those funds that the legislature appropriates goes into funding the services in this plan. If you look at the budget in the top left-hand corner, you can see the majority of the funding, well over half, is for special needs students. Our superintendents acknowledge that we have students with really complex needs or who need highly trained specialists like speech language therapists occupational therapists, physical therapists to support meeting students' IEP and 504 needs. And so that's really what we do is we offer those services to the students. I like to say services follow kids. So I know you, with the addition of the apartments, you got a lot more kids that may have been living in other districts, and if they were receiving our services, they follow you, they follow the kids here. So services fluctuate from year to year. We are to provide services given our ORSs in special education, technology, instructional services, and administrative services. And so all of the services listed on page 1 and 2 are the services offered in the plan. And then pages 3 and 4 are things we do in addition to the LSP. If you look at our budget, the LSP is really a smaller portion of what we do. We provide a lot of state contracts and grants and additional services, mostly in early learning services throughout the county. We do the early learning and intervention childhood program for kids 0 to 5 so that they get their needs met as soon as we possibly can. So by the time they get to kindergarten here, they're ready to go and ready to learn. So you can see on page 3 and 4, those are all of the additional things that we do. And then on page 5 are contracted services that we provide to school districts who may need some additional support, mostly in their district offices. So, which we've provided off and on to the Glide School District throughout the years. So I'm here to answer any questions you may have, and just to appreciate all that you do. I actually was a Glide School Board member at once upon a time too. So.
I have a question.
Sure.
This is nice format. I like it.
Let's get a motion.
Gotcha.
So I will entertain a motion.
I move to accept the 2024-2025 Douglas ESD Local Service Plan as presented.
Okay, let's have a discussion, questions?
Brief question on your pie chart in front. It says payments to districts. What is that in front?
So a certain portion of our, you start talking percentages and it gets a little wacky. So of the 90% of the dollars, a certain percentage of that we flow through to districts. So, so we have sort of a hybrid plan. So we have resolution services, so that's all the services you see. And then in addition, we flow through dollars. So within our ORSs, we can flow through dollars to districts, and they can use your business office can tell you how they use those dollars. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions,
Well,
comments?
I just got a little, maybe I missed it. Where do you guys get your money?
From the legislature. So it's a
It
state.
comes from the state. It comes from the state general fund?
Yep.
Is that where this money comes from?
Yes.
That you guys get and then you spread it?
Yeah, it's just like you. So we get state school fund and local property tax.
Oh, you get the local property tax also?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep. And it works just like yours. If this is our allocation, and if we get more property tax, then we get less state school fund, just like your funding works. So,
I'm just curious.
yep.
And is it property taxes for everyone in Douglas County?
Yes. Yeah, with our, when we approve our budget, just like you, we approve the tax rate.
All right, thank you. Okay,
I
any
have
other, yeah.
2 questions. One is a follow-up, excuse me, to Dan's on the payments to districts. Is that limited to Douglas County or?
So this is the Douglas ESD Region's local service plan. So for the 13 districts that we serve, we kind of have a saying, if you've met one ESD, you've met one ESD. Our plans are all different because they're supposed to be what each of our regions need. So yeah, that's just for the 13 here,
Okay,
the 13 school districts.
right, but yeah, Douglas County.
Yeah, well, we don't serve Reedsport. So
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
they're closer to the coast ESD.
Good, okay.
Mhm.
And then I noticed the contracted services, does that generate any funds for the contracted services outside the district?
So we generate, if you look at our, I'm not sure, let's see. If you look at our revenue with the contracted, like the state grants, the federal grants, all of that, we earn indirect, and we reinvest that back into school districts.
Okay, so when you do stuff for Lake and Klamath counties, for example, Lake and Klamath counties aren't necessarily putting any money into your kitty, or are they? And or is it just taking, using some of the resources?
Yeah, so those are, it's a mixture of state grants that we have, or state contracts, and philanthropic grants. So if you look at, I'll just take one example. Our South Central Early Learning Hub is a state contract, and its purpose is to meet the needs of vulnerable children from 0 to 5. Our region is Douglas, Klamath, and Lake, but those are all state dollars for the purpose of those counties. And so of the pot of money we get from that distributes to those counties.
Okay. Where I'm going with it is if Douglas County, sorry, Reedsport, is, I'll say, footing the bill through property taxes, I don't want to be a brat, but I'm less interested in helping out Lake and Klamath County.
And you're not, yeah.
And that's what, yes, you
Yeah,
clarified that.
they have to balance at the end.
I mean, we can work something out to all play nice in the sandbox, I'm fine with that, but
Yeah.
when money starts getting tight, then when you go outside of your circle, then that's a big question for me.
Yeah, so it's
thank you.
separate from the K-12 services. Yep.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Sure, it's a good question.
Okay, all those in favor passing this motion? Aye? Aye? Awesome, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your time. We met at the roadshow, right?
Yes,
thought so.
yes.
Okay. Just all came back to me. Okay, we're going to move on to the accreditation review, and I believe we have someone, Jennifer Williamson, waiting patiently. Thank you, Jennifer, online for us.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm Jennifer Williamson from Cognia, and I completed the accreditation review for Glide Middle and High School in the fall. Are you able to see my screen if I share my screen?
Yeah, we should be able to if you share it. There we go.
Okay. So just click along here. Oops. So we went through the accreditation system. Glide Middle High School is already accredited, but part of the accreditation process is to do a review every 5 to 6 years in order to maintain that accreditation status. So that is the review that was held during the fall of just this school year in 2023. So the accreditation review protocol is a way for a school to basically do kind of a self-reflection of how things are going in the building. And it's all focused on continuous improvement. So the function of the review is gathering information. As a reviewer and evaluator, I held conversations with parents, students, and teachers and the school's leadership team. And then I reviewed documents and evidence provided by the school. They also wrote an executive summary. They did a standards self-assessment. uploaded evidence to a portfolio, and then they also did an analysis of their learning environments, their stakeholder feedback, and their student performance. And then all that went into an analysis, which they also uploaded, and I reviewed all of those pieces. And then my job is to provide feedback to the institution as to where they are on their school improvement journey. So I wanted to share with you that this is a slide that contains all the words. When I meet with focus groups at schools, I ask them at the end of each focus group to describe their school in one word. And then I put all those words together so you can get an idea of what your stakeholders feel about your school. So you can see that the three biggest words that came up the most are welcoming, family, and community. Some other words that are also coming up a lot: inclusive, involved, encouraging, spontaneous. You can see there's a lot of different words there, but very positive and very community-based is the sense that I got from them speaking to everyone and then in the words that they provided. So I wanted to share that with you because that's certainly an area for celebration. Some of the areas of strength that we found in the review, that this school has a strong mission, supported by you, the school board, which is excellent. The focus is on the whole child, also a very good piece, and includes stakeholder input as well. So everybody feels like they kind of have some input into the direction that the school is going. The school has set up formal structures that promote positive relationships. They have a success period, which I'm sure you're aware of, and their Ron Clark Academy house system that they put in place and that they're adding to. All very good ways to build positive relationships within the school between teachers and students, students and students, and so on. Also have a very strong teacher mentor program. And through all the focus groups and the comments that were made through the focus groups and even in some of the narratives, it comes through strongly that there's a kind of a renewed sense of hope and positivity throughout the building coming out of COVID, which was a tough time for every school in the nation. So that is a really positive thing as well. And then these are some of the opportunities for improvement that we discovered. And when I say we, I'm talking about me reviewing the materials, but also that the leadership team discovered through their analyses. The need to create a professional development framework or plan that focuses specifically on instructional strategies that increase student engagement and rigor. Developed a school-paced improvement plan with specific goals, action steps, essentially that cycle, research cycle or data analysis cycle. I know that the district has a school improvement plan as a district, and the school needs to take that plan and then utilize it to come up with their own school-specific plan that focuses on their school-specific needs as well as your district goals. Create and implement a learning environment observation schedule that allows for multiple observations of teachers in various subjects and grade levels. And this is different and independent of teacher evaluation observations. This is an observation that focuses more on students and what students are doing in the learning environment, and gives some very specific data that can be used by leaders and teachers to look for areas of improvement. And certainly observing what the kids are doing versus teacher evaluation is not completely independent of each other, but it does provide a different kind of data and a different focus. And then implement a documented process to promote action research in the classroom. So through the teacher evaluation system, we see that the teachers create goals and then work towards those goals. And that process in itself is a type of action research. It just needs to be tightened up in the documented area as far as like specifically what data they're collecting for their research question, and then what, after they review that data, what did they find and how are they going to make improvements? So just completing the whole cycle. And then after that, after the review itself takes place and I meet with everyone, I write a report and submit it to Cognia, and it goes to the Global Commission So that report has been submitted and it's already been disseminated to the school leaders, so they have a copy of it. The final determination for accreditation will come from the Global Commission of Cognia, and the Glide Junior Senior High School is set for the March 2024 meeting for their accreditation determination. And that brings us to today. So I just wanted to share that with you. Mr. Freeman asked me to come along and talk to you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
This is Tim Shaw. I've got one question at the moment. The March date, do you know what day in March that meeting's going to be?
I do not know the specific date. They meet quarterly and March is the next meeting. Those aren't normally meetings that I attend, so I'm not in tune to the specific date, but I can get that for you and I can send that to Mr. Freeman.
It was more curiosity than anything else, just if we'd have it before our regular scheduled next board meeting. That's all.
Sure.
And sorry, this is really awkward. So my back is to you, and the mic is up here. Going back to the recommendations, I guess, in terms of process, I'm just curious about, given that you're already writing a report and you're saying the recommendation, what is
I can't hear, I'm sorry.
That's what I said. Okay, so I'm not going to look at you so that I can talk to you. It's very
Okay.
awkward.
That's fine, and I can't figure out how to stop sharing my screen, I
All
apologize.
right. So don't look at me because my back is turned to you is what I'm basically saying.
Okay, no worries.
So I'm curious about, I haven't been in terms of the process, because you listed specific recommendations that you want the district to do. What's the process then of the district taking those recommendations? Do they submit a plan? Do you just submit your findings and that goes forward? Help me understand that a little bit more.
So they will the Global Commission just basically makes the determination on the reports that are submitted for that meeting. So my report goes through several stages of review before it goes to the Global Commission meeting. So it's already been through enough of those stages to be disseminated back to the school. So at this point, those are the areas of improvement that you'll see that are in the report, as Mr. Freeman can tell you. They're already there. And what happens with those particular things moving forward is they're specific, but not so specific that you can't work with them. And part of the process going forward is that you're on a 6-year review cycle. And in 3 years, that'll be mid-cycle, there will be a progress monitoring, and where we'll look and see like what kind of things that you've done in to work towards some of those things. And maybe you're working towards the goal itself, but doing it in a different way than I suggested. So yeah, there's nothing there that is like, you have to do this or else. It's just, these are the suggestions for improvement, and this is what we're going to look for when we come back for that progress monitoring time. But at the same time, we want to see, the schools working on continuous improvement, which you already have that process in place. It's just, there's always room for improvement. So we're just always looking for what can we do next.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Could you maybe elaborate or explain a little bit what the benefit is of doing this process? Why we do this process? Why
do you do
accredited? Yeah, why should we be accredited, I guess is.
Well, accreditation means a lot of things to different entities, right? The purpose of accreditation through Cognia, our main purpose in working with schools is continuous improvement. But the other thing that the accreditation from Cognia puts out there for your school when you're accredited, and you can, put the seal that you're accredited from Cognia, it means that you meet our assurances, and it means that you meet or are working to meet our performance standards. And that tells other people in the educational community where you are as a school. So if you're accredited by Cognia, for example, a lot of colleges and universities want accredited schools that they get, take students from, transcripts, credits. I know in some states, they won't accept credits if you transfer to a school and you don't have an accredited school that you came from. I know the school district that I used to work in won't accept credits from schools that are not accredited. So it just gives you a little bit more credibility in that respect, but also it's not just a thing that we say, okay, check, you're accredited and you're done. But as I'm saying, it's a continuous improvement cycle that you're working through is part of this accreditation system. So it means that you're always working towards improvement.
Thank you for that. We've just had some confusion, I think, from some folks in the community of what it means, and it is an optional thing. It doesn't mean you don't graduate or nothing, to that level. It means that we have a higher set of standards that we're saying, we're going to meet this criteria, and we're going to get their stamp, and other people can benefit from saying, not only are they state of Oregon students, but they're signed off by COGA, they meet these standards, and so some colleges like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I just had a quick question about the feedback from the community and parents that you cited. I'm just wondering how you solicited that information and who all participated in that, or like what was the sample size in that?
So I met with focus groups of students, parents, and teachers, and there were approximately 5 people in each group, and these are just from the middle and high school because that's the piece that's being accredited.
Right.
And so it's just a sampling of those people, and those were chosen by the school administration or the school leader team. And then I just have some kind of just basic standard questions that I ask, but usually the focus group turns into more of just kind of a chat session where they're telling me, about their school and what they're learning and so forth.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I'd never heard anything about that or anyone that participated in it, so just curious. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for your time. We sure appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think we're asking Tammy to come up and talk about the early literacy grant.
I think you've already kind of told us like a whole thing, so you could just be super.
You about it, and when I came last time, the word from the state was that I just had to present it to you.
Yeah.
And I just had to submit our minutes.
Okay.
Well, they changed their mind.
Oh.
And I now need it to be in our minutes that you guys approve it, that you will approve our early literacy grant.
All right, well, I will entertain an emotion to approve such a thing.
I move to accept the early as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Glide Elementary, thanks, Joe.
Yes.
Well, for discussion, we could have made it
Oh,
present again.
yeah, did anybody want to discuss it? Although
could've
we
made it
asked all
presented
the,
all.
we asked all the questions last time, though. So, just saying, okay. Robert?
All right, this is the time of the year that Superintendent presents to you the annual review for contracts for teachers and administrators. And so in your packet on pages 18 to 23, you will see my recommendations for our annual renew of contracts for the 24-25 school year. What I would like to do is just go through and tell you what the different groups are and assure you that they have met the criteria that allows them to move forward. I do want to be crystal clear on this. It's super confusing in school districts because you have 2 evaluation programs that run side by side. You have the non-renewal program that's outlined by statute, where the superintendent presents to you recommendations to move forward. and those need to be approved by the board before March 15th. That's in statute. And alongside is you have the employee evaluation performance process. And so just to be crystal clear, just because we approve one of those, whichever side process, doesn't mean that negates the other side. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because I want the board to know that it's super important for me that our district is a district where we support growth and we support people to be their best. And we encourage and we offer everything we can for people to be successful. But if they are not successful in our organization, then we have opportunities to end our relationship and get somebody in there that's going to be best for our kids. So I just wanted you to know that. Starting on page 22, you have the recommendation of administrators, probationary administrator, second year to third year. You have probationary teachers, first year to second year. Probationary teachers, second year to third year. Probationary on page 23, probationary teachers, third year to contract. And then a slew of teachers who we are recommending to extend their current status of being a contract teacher for the 24-25 and 25-26 school year. When you're a contracted teacher, the renewal is for 2 years as presented. So my recommendation to the board is to accept the annual renewal of contracts for the 24-25 school year as presented.
I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the annual renewal of contract as presented.
Second?
Is that a second?
Second, yeah.
Okay. Discussion?
Yeah, I think that Robert's been doing us a good job, and I trust that he's going to do us right on keeping some pretty good people in, and if they aren't doing their job or we have problems with some of them, I think that he can, keep that worked out, and I think we'll move along. If we need better people, I think we'll find them, and I think we need to give the people opportunity that are here to do better if we think they need to do better.
I appreciate what Robert said about, giving folks a chance to succeed. We want to be a destination for primarily our staff, or first off, our staff. And sometimes we don't always have to see eye to eye on things. That kind of diversity really provides a lot of choices for the students. So I appreciate that, Robert, for trying to give your staff the tools they need to succeed, and also the wisdom in that sometimes there's just not good fits. I just had to deal with that last week in my company. And it's not fun, but sometimes that happens. And so I appreciate you bringing that up, and keep doing a good job.
Agreed. All right. Any other thoughts, questions, comments? Okay. All of those in favor of passing this motion? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. And now I'm going to move to Robert. You got some stuff to tell us.
Okay, so this is just a report. Annually, I have to report on our restraint and seclusion We are, again, per statute, we are required to document anytime we restrain or seclude a student. Last year, 22-23 school year is what I'm reporting on, and we had 13 restraints in the district. Of those 13 restraints, oh, I'm sorry, I'm on page 24 of our packet, sorry. Give you a minute to catch up. Of those 13 restraints, that was for 8 individual students. One of those restraints resulted in an injury to our staff. We're also required to document if the person who is restraining the student is trained, properly trained. Of those 13 restraints, 11 times the restraint was performed by a trained personnel. 2 of those restraints were not. I just want to, without going into too much detail, I want to quickly explain. Both of them had to do with runners on the elementary campus, and the person that saw the student running towards Glide Loop Road took it upon themselves to stop that student, fearing for that student's safety. I know on the report it doesn't look good, but I will tell you we commended that person. Well, there's 2 different people. We commended both of them for their efforts to stop the student before they got out on the highway and worse things could happen. I will say that Ms. Beard does a really good job identifying people who could possibly be involved in a restraint, and I don't want to speak for her, so if I'm wrong, just tell me, Tammy, but I believe those 2 individuals then were trained the following year just in case something like that happened again. And they wear tennis shoes to school now. I'll be here all night.
I have a question, if I may. On the incidents that result in injuries to personnel as a result of the use of physical restraint, what level of that? I mean, is that an OSHA reportable or recordable, or, and how are they doing?
Yeah, well, just don't name names. Don't name names.
No. I just want to make sure they're okay. That's my main goal, and whether we had any reportable incidents to OSHA. So, okay.
So we report.
Thank you.
We report staff injuries, so that would be on there. There's the process we follow with that. So I wasn't here. I didn't look that up. I'm sorry, but.
Can I? Yeah. I just was wondering, sorry, where are you going? Is this tracked like over time, like year by year? I don't know if this is like high or low or average or normal.
That's a great question, and I can get that data for you. I think that would be really good data. Because how I was going to end, and I will end by saying that one of the things that I've impressed me a lot about our 2 building administrators is that they have the same philosophy that I have, that it is at the very last possible moment that you restrain a kid. That is the last tool we're going to use, and it's only when that student or that student is putting other students in danger of physical harm that we're going to intervene. I keep telling you I'm old. I have learned that you can quickly lose all of the credits you build up for a relationship and a kid by simply touching them. And so that should be the very last thing you do, especially when a student's lid is flipped. And so we keep that as our absolute last thing that we do. So I know Tammy will tell you that there's lots of incidences where kids are flipping their lids, and really don't only have 13 of those times where we actually had to physically touch a student. It's pretty good. I mean, my goal would be to be 0, but they're just like the students running out in the street. We need to stop them from getting hurt. So,
Yeah.
but that is our last resort.
Yeah, and previous jobs dealt with this a lot. And so, yeah, that's why I'm just asking in terms of like, what the kind of like norm is, what you're looking for, and if there are, action steps, and I really appreciate Tammy sharing, if you, are noticing that there's an increased training in staff that might have potential, and I really in your job have like 3/4 of the agency trained, because just in case there was that incident, we could say that we had staff trained.
Tammy, you want to address that? You're welcome to.
So we use the CPI, so it's crisis prevention intervention, and the biggest part of that training is the de-escalation. And so we've gotten most of our staff, if not everyone, through the de-escalation part, and just the few people that need to go hands-on. And we're really, I mean, as Robert's talked about, our district, we spend a lot of money for behavior supports, and we're really targeting those kiddos, and so we have a skills trainer from the ESD, and then we have 2 behavior support IAs, and we are just really working to be super proactive and anticipating things before they get to be great big, so that we can really reduce that, because, as you said, like, it's really hard to come back from that. So,
Tammy, I can get the data, but do you know just anecdotally, is 13 a high number, a low number, average number? I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
It's really hard to say that because of just the change in demographics that we've had in the past few years. And I would say that most of our students that we're ending up having to use this training with are our primary students. So our K1, 2 students that are just really, I could actually go on and on about this, but I won't do that. That's for a future doctorate that I might write or something, I don't know. Anyways, just really coming in dysregulated. They're having a hard time with non-preferred tasks or hearing the word no. So that really is causing a lot of lids to get flipped pretty quickly. And so, just getting them to do things, small doses, and finding ways to, it's like 5 positives to your negative. So trying to fill their bank before we take away from the bank. So, I don't know.
Tammy, just something we talked about years ago, been a long time, when Jerry was principal. These numbers can be skewed because they're not skewed, they're factual, they are what they are, but there's frequent flyer program. So you may have several attributed to one kid or 2 kids, and those kids work themselves out of the system, and now the number goes down, and then another child who struggles. And so now you may have more contact again. You may have 5, 6 contacts with one individual. And so it kind of, if you followed it by, at one point we got a grade report. This is years and years ago. So, and you could follow it by grade, and you could see, okay, well, in this grade there's a couple of concerns. And it was interesting to me to see, and that's why I'm just adding it. It's a number that kind of fluctuates. Sometimes it can be because of a few individuals that need extra help.
Yeah, and I completely understand that. I'm just looking at, just aggregate, and I'm assuming what constitutes physical restraint and seclusion, there's definitions of what that actually means, and you have to meet that criteria.
There is a giant,
yes,
36-page
exactly,
with a million hyperlinks.
right.
Something that I would say is where it would make our numbers go up and down, is just like you said, is we used to have students that probably needed several restraints or really dysregulated
High
students
utilizers.
would move.
There's a term.
Would move on. We would put them through a process to go probably to a therapeutic learning center, and we don't have that anymore. And so we're really having to do all of that in-house, and so that's going to make our numbers go up.
Yeah, I oversaw that. Okay, so that's right.
Yep. So if you want to throw some money to that, that'd be great too.
Time to put a plug in.
I would love to give more money to that. Having a kid be on a IEP from K through 12 and have special needs and be a runner, and having been restraints used and things like that, very traumatic experiences for her. So I'm all about special education and wherever we can put more money into helping kids that struggle like that be more successful and be less traumatized. That's just my 2 cents on that.
All right, anybody else? I'm going to speed us along, but I don't want to cut you off either. Okay, the next topic is I just want to give you a quick update on the strategic plan. I want to float an idea or where we're at with that. So if you can just vision, I won't have you close your eyes, you'll fall asleep, but if you can just envision the colliding rivers, you're at the park and you're looking down and the two rivers come together and then the water continues down as it flows to the ocean. I really see the vision part of your focus areas fitting into the colliding river picture. When the weather permits, I've asked Mr. Black to fly his drone and take a picture of that, and then we're going to insert the focus areas on the North Umpqua and Little River as focus areas 1 and 2. And then if you recall, focus area 3 was really about the student experience going through our school system and then on to becoming an adult, out to the ocean. Y'all visit. If you, well, there you go. So we're going to use that visual. As you are envisioning colliding rivers, there's a big rock in the middle of all that. I would like the board to, at a later board meeting, to wordsmith a mission statement, something that just, is what we stand for and what we're all about. That goes in that rock. And then I've been toying with different buckets, if you will, that meets the criteria of your vision. And I've got it narrowed down to about 5 buckets right now. And so what I'd like to do is continue to work with my team, put the items in each of those buckets where they fit. We're going to work hard to show you how the budget reflects those buckets, where the money's actually being spent to address that vision that you guys came up with, those focus areas. And then that'll all come together as our strategic plan. So we're getting close. I don't know if we're close. That's going to be the board photo is out on the rocks. All right, any questions on the strategic plan, where we're at? Okay. Next thing I need to report on is ESSER expenditures. You guys are well versed in ESSER. Anytime you make a change or add to your plan, it's required that I come back to the board and explain those to you. We have been meeting as a leadership team to ensure that we fully spend our ESSER funds. I don't know about you, but Carolyn and I are not about giving money back to the federal government, so we want to make sure we utilize those funds to the dollar. We have identified 3 projects that meet the definition usage for ESSER funds that we're moving forward with, and we wanted to let you know what those 3 projects were at this meeting. The first one is an exhaust fan in the metal shop right across the road right here. I don't know if you are aware, but we had a brand new state-of-the-art welding station that was implemented, and we didn't add a new ventilation system. And so I would assume that people thought the old system would handle that. It does not. When all the welding stations are going, that room does fill up with exhaust, and it's just not healthy, even with the doors open. So we are installing a state-of-the-art. It's actually a variable speed. It will detect when somebody is welding at whatever station, and wherever station that is, will start to exhaust. It's pretty cool. So we've actually started that project. The second one is a walk-in refrigerator freezer at the elementary school. Our current practice is our food is delivered to the high school, middle school, and food is stored here. And then it's transported down by maintenance staff when the elementary school asks for more food. Cumbersome model, so we are going to put in a new walk-in freezer refrigerator at the elementary school. We met with the food service people at the elementary, and they think we're pretty cool right now, so they're very excited about that. The last thing I'm super excited about, and I know Principal Beard is also, we're going to put an electronic reader board at the elementary school to distribute information. I know I did early on, and I think even Ms. Beard has shared, we have a reader, it's not a reader board, it's just a board that has the letters on it that's right out in the middle of the parking lot talking about attendance. It's super effective. Our attendance rate is something that we really are going to be proud of, and we're going to be bragging about that soon. But instead of having that right in the middle of the driveway, it's going to be super nice to have a big screen reader board on the wall of the school. We're also going to build a sign to put out in the front by Glide Loop Road that identifies the school as Glide Elementary Bobcats. And our vision there is to have our metal shop students do the artwork and draw that up and then fabricate it in our own shop, get it powder coated, and then we'll have our maintenance staff plant that down there so the community knows that that's our elementary school. So super excited about that project. Actually, I'm super excited about all three projects. I think they're really going to enhance our district. Yeah. I never even thought of that. Super small. I hear you loud and clear.
So I can speak to it just briefly because I was involved in the Eagle project that was, to get that sign put up. Are you talking about the blue one, the reflected? So that is the size of the sign that can be for the county. Where we can make an improvement is the big sign that's on the private property that's off. The sign that's on the county road is the sign that can be on there. That was as big as we were allowed to go. And so but the other sign, I believe is on private and could be worked with. You still can't see it coming from the other, yeah. The paw prints were cool.
Dan, is that something I can look into? See if that's legal to do, or?
Be county conversation, I can make a phone call.
That'd be great. At least give some direction. I hear exactly what you're saying. I was afraid it was what Dan was saying, but.
Oh, yeah, sign stuff is weird. Sign stuff's
Yeah.
very regulatory. So that was Calvin's Eagle project. And that was as big as they would let us go. Yeah, that's what it came out to be. But I can ask about that's why I brought it up, because I know that's as big as that sign can get. But we did look at rehabbing the other sign. But I'll ask the county about the paw prints.
Thank you.
That was handy. I don't know if that's cool. Yeah.
Okay, we'll continue to look into that. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. Yes. Well, and at nighttime for football games, it's dark. It's hard to see. Yeah. Okay, so I'm moving on now to my superintendent report, and I'm just going to give you a brief report. So I'm sure you are well aware that our capital improvement bond that exists right now for the Glide School District is going to mature in not next year, but the year after that. And we have not had any discussions about renewing that bond to the community, but there are some things that we need to do to prepare for that. And so I am starting that process to prepare if the board wants to engage in a capital improvement bond starting next year for the following year. The reason why that window is opportunistic is because I can't remember the exact percentage, but I want to say it was like in the 80%. The bonds that pass are when they're in that window of when a bond expires, and they roll that over to where it's no additional cost to taxpayers, and we're in that window right now. Since this last bond, Oregon has put together what's called an Awesome Grant. An Awesome Grant are matching funds up to $6 million that districts can apply for if they're successful in passing their capital improvement bond. In order to be eligible for the Awesome Grant, you have to have some studies done. So Carolyn and I have applied on behalf of the district for 2 different grants through the department, Oregon Department of Education, I think. They're called TAP grants, and those TAP grants focus on facility assessments. They'll come in and they'll assess all of our buildings, current state, and then a long-range facility planning grant. And what they'll do there is talk about the life expectancy that's left in our buildings, the cost to remodel and get up to code to make them last longer, or they'll analyze the cost if the cost is greater to where you should just tear it down and build something new. So we'll get all that information through these 2 grants, but I just felt it was prudent to apply for these and get the ball rolling. Okay, the facility, okay, so here's the verbiage on it. Each TAP grant is designed to help districts and ESD address specific issues. The facility assessment grant assesses the current physical condition of a district's facilities and provides an estimate for the cost of repair. So they're going to take our current structure and what would it cost to repair what we need repaired. The long-range facility planning grant helps a district determine how its facilities will provide space and appropriate learning environments for the district's population and educational needs over the next 10 years. And so that puts us out into the future. And we need both of those in order to be eligible for the Awesome Grants. That's my report.
Right? Awesome. It would be. Carolyn, financial report, pretty please.
I don't really have that much. As always, you guys have your financial report. If you ever have questions, feel free to email me with questions. I'm actually kind of working on revamping the financial report just because I think I can make it more user-friendly for you guys to view. So I'm hoping to have that set up for next month, so we'll see. And then I just wanted to say, you know, we're starting to move into budget season, so I've started my provisional to start working on the payroll piece of it. So we're starting that. And I also want to give a shout out to Rebecca Dozier because she is doing an awesome job doing AP and payroll, and that has taken a load off my shoulders, which is awesome. So shout out to Rebecca Dozier.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. So individual board member reports. Does anybody have?
I don't have a report. I just want to publicly talk about an email that we got and thank John Black for our social media presence, our engagement presence. You know, our social media presence has come back up to where and excelled where it ought to be, and so that's largely you. So I just wanted to say thank you and make sure everybody knows that you put a lot of work into making sure there's a million ways to contact us. So thank you. The teachers are doing awesome stuff.
Nobody can hear you online if you're not talking into the mic. Sorry.
There's nobody online.
There are, and they've made comments. Yes.
Is it not working? I think it's working. I think it says it's green.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay.
So thank you. Around the spaghetti auction was what I was saying. It was incredible. I enjoyed it immensely, and huge support of the community showing up. I got outbid on so many things. It was like, wow. So that was, I know, yeah, it was really impressive. And I think a good show of the community coming together and really demonstrating, I think, what Glide values are and commitment. And that was really amazing. I have a curiosity about the middle school, and I don't know if that is anywhere in the, future of the Awesome Grant or whatever that might be, so I'll just throw that out there. And I will also identify that the basketball season, because I got to go to some away games, I do think that there is a struggle, and I have talked to a couple of the coaches and things like that. The roughing at one particular game was really, really bad, in the case that there were parents actually leaving because they were so worried they were going to say things that they were going to regret. And I just want to shout out to the kids and the parents also for handling that, I think, really well. And so that it didn't come to something that got really ugly, and it very easily could. And my concern was that the safety of the kids, it was teetering on that line of safety, which was concerning to watch. So something that I just wanted to bring up that is a concern. And a big shout out to wrestling, because the kids that went to state, that's just so exciting. So.
Thank you, Janet.
I'm going to run off of Dan again for the, thanks, John, for, making more things available out there. But we also kind of have a celebrity here with Jessica McCall and the Glide Booster and putting stuff out there and promoting it. And so if you're out on Facebook and you see that, share it. Get it out there, because this should be contagious.
Agreed.
Especially, no matter what, but when we've got these star wrestlers and these junior cheer, didn't they get a big award too? We need to make sure the community gets out there. So, and we need to make social media work for us and get that positiveness out there and going. So, Jessica, thank you very much for your efforts out there.
Hear. I second that. So much of the information I actually get is from the Booster Club posts. For some reason, they show up in my feed more than anything else does, so I'm super appreciative. And anybody else? John, I don't really have anything to report. I'm engaging in my other duties with the Rural Caucus, and we had our first leadership meeting the other night, and things are going well. We're pretty excited, and I'm participating weekly in legislative updates. So that's my brief.
Madam Chair, I think that you're understating that greatly, and I don't know that people know what you're doing there and your position or positions there. So if you
Three
would
positions.
please let us know, let
Yes.
everybody know what you're doing.
Well,
Because
so-
you're putting Glide on the map.
Yeah, well, and so I just want to give a reminder, and I'll make sure that this is sent out to everybody, but the entire board can be a member of the Rural Caucus because it's rural, and that's us, right? So you can participate in the meetings. You would be considered a member of the body if anybody's interested. You don't have to attend all the meetings, but you could. It's the same public meeting laws apply to that as anything else that we engage in. So there's, you haven't missed anything too much. We're just kind of establishing our cadence of the meetings and how things are going to go. And I'm in charge of the appeal committee. So if folks are trying to appeal to be part of the Rural Caucus, but they don't meet the criteria, then they would go through the committee to decipher that. But there's going to be an invitation sent out to everybody that is on a board that is part of the rural criteria. So I encourage everyone to get involved.
And you are the vice chair, correct?
I am the vice president.
Vice
I am the district rep for Douglas and South Coast, and I am the legislative committee
representative. So myself and the president then will always be part of the legislative committee, and we're required to go to the OSBA legislative meetings and stuff up in Salem.
And if that hasn't sank in, we've got our board chair with an absolute finger on the pulse of what's coming through Salem. So we have I think, a first chance in a long time to cut some of these, what I will personally consider, my own personal opinion, craziness with some of the legislation that comes out. We're going to get ahead of the game instead of having to, like, how do we deal with this? We can work at cutting it off at the path, so to speak. So
Yes.
I think that's awesome.
That's
Thank you
the
for that.
point of the rural caucus, is to give voice to rural districts that, so much voice comes out of Portland, Salem, Kaiser school districts, and those aren't always applicable for us. So this gives us funding for some stuff. We get a budget, and it gives us a voice with the legislature. They will often then look back to us of what is our input? Do we approve of certain things? What does the rural caucus have to say about that? Which I think is important. And a lot of the primary concerns of the rural caucus are funding, local control, and meeting the needs of rural communities, which are different. So it's a really cool, brand new thing that's happening. So we're making history, actually. So it's kind of cool.
So I just want to ask, though, by the rules, can more than two of us be attending and participating in a meeting, though?
Yeah, why wouldn't you be able to?
I don't know, it just seemed, I don't know, in my brain, I was like, well,
It's a public meeting.
we can't talk about glide stuff, but, okay.
We're not
Making
making
sure.
decisions for Glide.
Right,
We're making decisions for the rural
so we'd just be
caucus.
participating as part of it, okay.
Yeah, and it's a public meeting, so the public can attend. And so our leadership is bound to the same sort of, right? So there's 7 of us, I think, that we need to make decisions so that, but there can be our whole entire boards, and it could be the entire board of everybody that would be considered meeting criteria, because we're not making decisions for our
For Glide, we're
district,
making
for
decisions,
Glide,
we're putting input into the greater board.
to a greater board based on legislative issues that will affect, disproportionately affect, in a negative way, rural districts. And so we're making sure that that people listen. And so it's an awesome thing. Thank you, Tim, for highlighting all that. It is a cool thing. Anything else? I think this meeting is well past adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.